Neil Heritage's military dream started when he was a child. And at age 16, he joined the British military.
It hadn't really occurred to me that I might end up going to war one day. I just thought I was going to get to travel and mess about, to be honest.
Fast forward to 2004, when the world is 1 year into the Iraq War. 23-year-old Neil is deployed to help American and British troops take back the city of Fallujah.
We're clearing a route one day, which would be a fairly routine task for us. So clearing a route of potential IEDs.
Seconds later, his world is ripped apart.
I'm behind a warrior vehicle, which is, to explain, like an armoured vehicle, looks like a tank. So I'm behind the armoured door of that. The vehicle drives up to the other side, explodes. Both my legs are off instantly.
Within minutes, Neil goes into shock.
I knew I was conscious and I was awake for about 30 minutes after the incident. I could see that my legs were gone. Didn't think I stood much chance of surviving, if I've been honest. I'd seen lots of people with those, with injuries and not as serious as that, not make it.
Neil wakes up 10 days later and starts his difficult road to recovery.
And really, it took a few more years for me to get walking. So I think probably about 5 years post-injury. We had, better prosthetics facilities come into the UK and better technology available to us. And that's probably the time, around the 5 years, where I could kind of walk independently.
Neil then begins pushing his new body.
I learned to run and swim and cycle and entered some triathlons and things like that. So I rode across the Atlantic in 2011 into 2012. And it was after that, actually, I was looking for new activities that I could kind of do.
He sets his sights on one of the highest summits in the Swiss Alps and hopes to become the first double amputee to climb the Matterhorn.
And it's really difficult to convince someone to take me on the mountain.
He chooses the nearly 15,000-foot mountain because it's a technical climb and will be less walking and more actual climbing for his prosthetics.
We got less than halfway up the mountain, absolutely exhausted. Definitely the hardest thing I'd ever done. And we were nowhere near.
Unable to finish, Neil turns back. 2 years later, he tries the climb again.
So this time we get much higher. We get to about 3,800 meters, and then it snows. And the guides turn us around and say, that's it, that's as far as we can go, because the mountain's now too dangerous.
Then in August of this year, Neil gives it one more try.
So here we are, summit of the Matterhorn, first double above the knee, amputee Neil Heritage 2020. How do you feel, Neil?
Pretty amazing, if I'm honest. Beautiful day as well.
Neil, welcome to DBL. First and foremost, thank you for your service and your sacrifice. Happy Veterans Day to you. So after the explosion, you did not wake up for 10 days. What happened when you woke up?
I was in 2004. I was blown up by a suicide bomb. I woke up 10 days later in hospital, and the news that I got when I woke up that was, my fiance was pregnant, had a child on the way, and obviously that alongside the news of what had actually happened to me as well.
So Neil, you discover that you're going to be a father, that your fiance is pregnant. How did that impact your recovery?
It was massive, actually, because it turned the whole focus from, look what's happened to me, and my career's over, I'm disabled, and all the other things, and it turned the focus. Actually, we've got this time now. We've got to get ready and prepare, and make a good job of being a dad and get myself as ready as I can for that. So I think in many ways changed the whole focus of my rehabilitation.
I can't even wrap my head around that, and how you were able to process it and how you were able to find things to keep you motivated. In fact, it took you 4 years and 3 attempts to summit the Matterhorn. What kept you motivated to keep you trying?
From the outset, I was pretty convinced it was possible, so that was the motivation to keep going is, can I prove this is possible? And I just, especially after being on the mountain a couple of times, it was one of them things I just couldn't kind of walk away from. So it was just a case of I had to keep going back.
Unbelievable. If there's anybody out there right now that is struggling and feels like that you can't accomplish something, or someone is doubting you, just listen to Neil, right? Hopefully that you start a career in motivational speaking after this, because you really do achieve everything that you set your heart and mind to. So I have to know, after the 4 years, after all the hard work, what was your first thought after you finished that climb?
I think on the summit it was really emotional, actually. You know, a combination of being completely exhausted and finally achieving the goal. That me and the team that had been working with me for a few years, we were able to spend about 30 minutes on the summit, which isn't always the case. But I think there was a few elements. You know, it was emotional, relief, pleased that we didn't have to come back and have another go the following year. It's a combination of things, but yeah, just an incredible moment up there.
Did you yell? Did you, like, what do you do? I can't even imagine. Like, please paint the picture for me.
Yeah, so as soon as we were on the summit and approaching the summit, I was being filmed, so we had a cameraman there. So I tried to hold my emotions a little bit in check, because for that reason I knew I was under pressure a bit. So I was very British about it all, as you can imagine. It was just an amazing moment.
Yeah, I would have
total relief.
I would have been loud and proud and like, Jack from the Titanic, and just been like, "I'm king of the world." You're much more humble than I am. I think that you are incredible. Thank you for everything that you have set out to do, because you really do. You really inspire me, and I know that you're inspiring so many of our viewers. So for those of you wanting to help Neil's nonprofit, visit his Facebook page, Climb to Recovery. Neil, it has been quite the honor. Thank you for joining DBL.